Hey guys, KaiRod197 again. This time with a review of the Rig Dom 2 from the 0080 OVA series. And man, did this thing surprise me. The colors, even though they're very much the same as the original Dom, they're much more subdued and therefore also much more serious feeling. On top of that, the color separation on this thing is top notch for a model kit of 2004. I mean, just look at the tiny details. We have red inside the shoulders, red there on the little beam gun inside, red on there. Just a little attention to detail. Even the Sturmfaust has a red head. Sure, you still got to paint the yellow on the tip to make it completely color accurate, but just to see that they put that much attention on a stupid Sturmfaust, something a lot of modern kits in hydrogen centric form do not have, is just really showing how much attention they gave to this thing. So overall, when it comes to color accuracy and the amount of painting you got to do, it's really down to the little things like the red on the inside of these tiny thrusters. So for stickers, all we're getting is this thing that's supposed to go in there, which is not really necessary. And then the final one you got to put on there is, of course, for the mono eye. Now, the funny thing here is that this is the giant black sticker, but you do not see a separate thing for the mono eye. And that is because the mono eye is also on the black sticker. So unfortunately, if you don't want to paint, you're going to have the mono eye dead in the middle, which is a good thing if you're not that great at putting the mono eye in the middle. Might be a bit unfortunate for people who want him to look to the side. Also, there is a clear piece covering the mono eye. Then for the marking stickers that we get with this thing, we have this insignia, and you can assign him to either 95 or 56. So then take all of that, combine it with some nice attempts at seamline hiding, mainly on the legs, and a redesign by Yutaka Izubuchi, and we have a model kit that looks absolutely amazing straight out of the box. Let's have a look at the rest of the model kit. Articulation, the head goes a tiny bit up and down, rotates around about that far until the pretty big backside of the head gets stuck, so not a huge amount of head movement. The arms rotate around all the way nicely, go up really far like that. We'll rotate around all the way, bend at the elbow at a single joint for the standard 90 degrees. The hands are in ball joints. We'll rotate around, turn around, and do everything a ball joint does. One really cool thing is trigger finger hand. Then we'll rotate around at the waist all the way. Just got to be a bit careful. There we go. On the back, we have these thrusters that go up and down, which is really nice attention to detail for just some thrusters. The sword there is also on a hinge, so it can go up and down to move it out of the way of these fuel tanks, which are also completely removable and can go slightly side to side if you should move them out of the way for one reason or another. And there's also a teeny bit of forwards and backwards movement on the waist. Now, the front skirts molded separately, legs go forwards really nicely, backwards until they hit the back skirt. Now, these side skirts also go out, but because of the design of the Dom itself, there's not really a lot of purpose because the legs are still going to get stuck at that extended piece of the back skirt. However, for the time, they still go out really nicely. We'll also rotate around a little bit, then bend at the knees at two joints, and for the Dom, 90 degrees, definitely not bad. And these ankle guards go up and down, the feet go forwards nicely, backwards nicely, rotate around all the way, and when we look in there, we can see some thrusters. Once again, really cool attention to detail on this thing. So overall, the articulation, while not being anything super spectacular, is exactly what you need for a Dom. A bulky machine with enough articulation to do whatever you want. So now let's see what we can do with that articulation by having a look at the accessories. And because it's a Dom, we have to start off with the giant bazooka. or as the box calls it, the Giant Bazoo. So yeah, our Bazoo has a nice movable handle for extra posing capabilities, and just look at how far backwards that goes. You can either have it above the shoulder, or, as the box art wants you to hold it, underneath the shoulder. Now, if with this heavy firepower you want some lighter firepower, we also get the 90mm machine gun, and this is really where those separate trigger fingers are going to come in handy. And there we go. It fits into the hands absolutely perfectly, just as our Giant Bazoo does. Now, of course, these are the exact same hands on both sides, just left and right, so you can also switch around the weapons perfectly. For more heavy firepower, you of course always have the Sturmfaust, and we don't just get one of them, we get two of them. Unfortunately, the connection is slightly weaker than the Giant Bazoo and the machine gun. Also, because of the way the hands are designed, they feel like they're slightly too far backwards, and it looks a bit awkward. The same issue happens with our final accessory, the Heat Sword. Let's remove that thing, put this in there, and here you can really see that it's just too far backwards to look really natural. But hey, with so many weapons to choose from, you're probably not gonna go for the Heat Saber anyways. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? Absolutely. For 1,500 yen, I would say that this is a great deal. The Rigdom 2 is a model kit I didn't really have any expectations for. Not in a negative way or that I'd seen bad things about it, just I didn't think much of it until I started building it, and man, once I had this thing completed, I was blown away. It looks great, great colors, great proportions, articulation, which is nice for a Dom, and just a lot of accessories, and combine all of that with those little attention to detail things, which really brings out the Rigdom 2 as a model kit that Bandai obviously put a lot of effort into. And it's the Rigdom 2. It didn't really get a lot of love in the series itself, so just seeing this model kit is really great. How much effort they put into this thing. And again, for 1,500 yen, that's a great price for all the things you're getting. The Rigdom 2 might not be the best Dom, but it's still very much worth picking up. If you're gonna go for any Dom, let it be the Dom Tropen, which is by far the best one. But if you need a second Dom that's equally as awesome as the Dom Tropen, go for this thing. And talking about the Dom Tropen, it seems like the Doms definitely have this tendency of surprising me with model kits of which I expect absolutely nothing and end up being great. The one unfortunate thing about this is that unlike the Dom Tropen, it does not have hardpoints to store, for example, the Sturmfaust or the machine gun, which is something the Dom Tropen can do. And which is why I would say that the Dom Tropen is still the superior Dom model kit. But if you want a Dom in more traditional colors, I highly recommend you to buy this thing over the regular Dom. Now for size comparisons, here it is next to some other Doms. And as you can see, the Rigdom 2 is slightly bigger than the other two Doms. Also, as far as looks are concerned, I will say that the Rigdom 2 is the best looking of the bunch, with the Dom Tropen being a close second. However, I would still recommend the Dom Tropen overall, the sand brown version, because it comes with all those accessories and can also mount all of them, unlike the Rigdom 2, unfortunately. Meaning that, in my opinion, the Rigdom, standard Rigdom, well, Char's Rigdom in this case, or the normal Dom slash Rigdom is the least interesting to get. And finally, here is next to the standard size Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3. And that's all for this review, and see you all next time.